As we step into 2026, Indian cinema is preparing for another eventful year. Yes, the big franchises and star vehicles will dominate headlines, but beyond the noise lies a far more exciting space. These are films quietly building momentum, driven by ideas, voices, and risk taking storytelling. At Federal, true to our name, we believe that cinema thrives across religions and languages. So today, we are spotlighting Indian films in 2026 that go beyond the mainstream. Films you won't be reminded to watch, but will be glad that you didn't miss. Films to watch in 2026 India beyond the big tickets. Let's begin with Hindi cinema, where 2026 looks refreshingly bold. Top picks Hindi cinema. Bandar. After Kennedy failed to land as expected, Anurag Kashyap seems poised for a return to form with Bandar. Starring Bobby Deol as a man accused of rape by his former partner, the film is based on Kashyap's unpublished story and premiered at 2025 Toronto International Film Festival. A release date is yet to be announced, but this is one film that is already sparking conversations. Maya Sabha. Director Rahi Anil Barve may sound unfamiliar until you remember Tumbad. After years of delayed recognition, his next film, Maya Sabha, is finally arriving on January 16, 2026. Let's not repeat history. This is one film best watched on its first theatrical run. Now to Tamil cinema, which continues to push emotional and narrative boundaries. ஏழு கடல் ஏழு மலை, director Ram returns after the warmth of Paranduppu with a radically different film. ஏழு கடல் ஏழு மலை stars Nivin Pauly, Suri, and Anjali, and has already premiered at the International Film Festival, Rotterdam. Early promos hints at a fantasy about an immortal man journeying across epochs, a time-bending meditation of existence itself. Malayalam cinema, the perennial top student of Indian cinema, looks set to push boundaries even further in 2026. Top picks Malayalam cinema. Ebb. Joe Baby, the filmmaker behind The Great Indian Kitchen and Kathal, returns with Ebb. Premiere at the International Film Festival of Kerala, the film examines male hypocrisy, even among those who consider themselves progressive, through the lens of an open relationship. Mollywood Times. If you missed Unni Mukundan Associates in theatre despite its acclaim, you're not alone. Editor turned director Abhinav Sundar Nayak returns with Mollywood Times starring Naslin. That alone is reason enough not to miss this one. Mastiska Maranam is a mind-bending comedy thriller about a grieving father who enters a VR game to reconnect with his lost child. Ambitious and long overdue. Next up, Telugu cinema, where quieter shifts are happening beneath the mass spectacle. Top picks Telugu cinema. Alcohol continues Telugu cinema's move towards morally complex narratives. With Allari Naresh in yet another image-breaking role, the film explores addiction, denial, and the violence hiding behind respectability. This isn't a film about drinking. It's about the intoxication of power, guilt, and choice. Epic first semester. Stepping away from violence and excess, Epic offers a gentle alternative. Starring Anand Devarkonda and Vaishnavi and directed by Aditya Hasan of 90s, a middle-class biopic, this quirky romantic drama leans on humor, nostalgia, and emotional honesty. Kannada cinema had many wonderful indie cinema in 2025, but 2026 looks a bit dry. It could be the underwhelming theatre response of such gems. Like I said, let's change that. Vagachipani, otherwise called Tiger's Pond. It is unfortunate that Natesh Hegde's last film, Pedro, forget theatrical release, didn't even get a proper OTT release, despite the glowing reviews. Let's hope his latest film, Vagichapani or Tiger's Pond, which was part of International Film Festival in 2025, will be released in 2026. The anticipation continues in Bengali cinema, where independent voices remain fiercely relevant. Top picks Bengali cinema. Desh Lai. Filmmaker Q returns after a long break with Desh Lai. The film follows a young TikTok creator forced to flee across India-Bangladesh border after his brother's arrest. A raw exploration of youth, identity, borders, both physical and emotional. And finally, Marathi cinema, one of India's most consistently grounded industries. Top picks Marathi cinema. Kashaba. Nagaraj Manjule returns with Kashaba, a biopic of wrestler Kashaba Dada Saheb Jagadev. India's first individual Olympic medalist. After June went largely unnoticed despite its merit, the film feels like a moment of cinematic reckoning. So while big franchises will command attention, it's these films across languages and regions that quietly shape the future of Indian cinema. At the Federal, we'll be tracking these stories as they unfold because great cinema doesn't always arrive with noise. Sometimes it just needs to be noticed. Which Indian films of 2026 are you most curious about? Tell us in the comment section and stay tuned for more cinema stories that matter.